There's dozens and dozens of articles, more than 100, maybe 200 articles that I didn't show the jury today, right?
It's about 220.
Okay, we didn't. And it's fair to say during the break, despite Attorney Nicolai's suggestion that I showed you some article about, what was this article about? Because I've never even seen that article. Acetaminophen or something like that?
Tizanidine? No, I don't know.
I didn't show you any article about that during the break, did I? About acetaminophen.
Oh,
I'm saying that I didn't show you this article that she's talking about during the break.
okay. Yeah,
True.
I think we're talking about the difference in acetaminophen, aspirin, and ibuprofen.
Right.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's right. I'm just saying I didn't show you that. We didn't talk about that during the break.
No.
Objection, this was entered by defense as Exhibit 626.
That's not the question. The insinuation was that I
Hold
talked-
on, stop. I'm excusing the jury. Be seated. I'm warning both sides. Stop with the speaking objections. It needs to stop now. And we need to be very precise on when we refer to things that I know have happened in the course of this case. And I'm referring to that sidebar. And I'm going to make a record of that right now. And then we'll bring the jury back out after I address this last objection. As it relates to that sidebar, the defense initially objected to receipt of 232. I sustained it, frankly, just because of a foundation. I thought some more questions could be asked, maybe even show the witness the exhibit. But I also know, because we had a hearing in December of last year, specifically on December 9th, where 232 was marked as Exhibit 8. And this witness at that hearing was questioned about that document. And it is fair game for the state to ask him his knowledge about it and what its source is. And number one, he's an expert. He's provided opinions today in front of this jury in forensic toxicology. These are guidelines for opinions and testimony in forensic toxicology. His knowledge of them, or lack thereof, goes directly to his credibility, which this jury will need to determine. I've already referenced he was questioned about it at a prior hearing, again, Exhibit 8. Of course, the defense can redirect, that's appropriate, but then Attorney Kukler accused me of yelling at her in front of the jury, which I was not doing. Out of an abundance of caution, I turned my face away from the jury box and directed it at the back of the courtroom. Was I frustrated? Absolutely. I was frustrated because I knew what this witness had been shown and testified about at that prior hearing, and more importantly, the defense knows about it because it's a transcript that is in this file that was requested by the defense. And so I was frustrated because the defense knows better. And I'm just making this record abundantly clear, I was not yelling. I was in a hushed tone. And I think she said, well, it looks like you're yelling at me. That's why I turned away. And was I frustrated? Absolutely. And I'm also frustrated because of the speaking objections and trying to get information in front of this jury through either making comments or testifying, which, as you both know, that's not how it is properly done. I also know I sustained an objection. I know you moved on, Attorney Nicolai, and I said I'd take it up if you so wish. Is that a topic you wish to go back into?
I can do that with Dr. Kasenko.
All right, very well. Anything the state wants to add to the sidebar?
No.
Anything the defense wants to add to the sidebar?
Just that I wondered if the court wanted me to talk to the witness since he didn't seem to remember it. And I couldn't help that the witness at that moment didn't remember seeing the guidelines. And I recommended that the state hand him the actual exhibit, and maybe that would refresh his recollection. It seems like it did.
I appreciate you adding that, and I will also add at that sidebar, I said, well, it was offered. There didn't seem to be a yes or no, but in any event, I said, that's a good idea. Let's give him the exhibit, and we'll go on from there. With that, we'll bring the jury back out. If there are any more objections, just say objection. If you want to say relevance, again, 1 or 2 words. I don't want speaking objections. And I am going to say this outside the presence of the jury, Mr. Spiller. This came up during our motion hearing. I know you have a lot of information, and I know you want to get it out. But let the attorneys direct by asking you the questions. Sometimes they call for yes or no answers, and please just do that and not provide extra information. There hasn't been really a whole lot of objections, and sometimes that can be for strategy reasons, but it's important, though, that you do that and not talk over the other the attorneys who are asking the questions, okay? You understand that?
Yes.
Good.
Your Honor.
And you're hearing okay?
As long as the microphone works.
They should be working.
Were we in the middle of a question when we broke? I'm sorry, could I ask Madam?
Well, there was a speaking objection, and I dismissed the jury just to let you know.
But I don't know if you ruled on the objection.
What was the, well, I haven't called for them yet. I did not. Madam Clerk, Madam Reporter, what was the last question that was asked? If you can tell.
Do you want me to go back and play?
Do you recall where you were at, Attorney Kukler?
I think that I was asking whether or not during this lunch break I showed
Oh, right.
Mr. Spiller any articles, because I didn't. And I thought it was about ibuprofen or something. I was just trying to get the name of the articles that the district attorney
What's the
had
number? I believe the state referenced an exhibit.
626.
626.
So my objection was to the inference that this study was never introduced by the defense today, and it was. It's an exhibit.
See, now I didn't ask that, Judge.
Well,
I
hold
just
on.
asked him if we talked about it during the break. Because did you notice that the state said, I want to talk to you about an exhibit that Attorney Kukler showed to you during the break. That's how the question was asked. And I didn't show him any exhibit during the lunch break, so that's the point.
Well, be that as it may, 626 is an exhibit.
I know that.
So it should be accurately portrayed as such by both sides if they reference it as an exhibit previously received in this case. I think you've made your point. You asked the witness if he saw it during a break, if you showed it to him. Madam Reporter, was there an answer given?
Because that's when the objection came in. And
Right, so I'll overrule the objection.
he can answer the question.
And he can answer the question.
Should I repeat the question when the jury comes in?
Yes, as long as you specifically refer to that exhibit accurately.
All right.
Okay, now we can have the jury brought out.